Welcome back to This is Talking Sci-Fi with Sci-Fi Sean and
Just Randy.
We have a very special guest for our show today. I've been asking for this gentleman, and he's finally fit us into his busy schedule from the most popular, world-famous, hundreds of listeners, Happy Hour with Johnny and Duce. This is Duce.
What's going on, guys? It's very, very nice to be here. Man, we had such an amazing SYFY Bartow, and I wanted to come and talk to you guys about it.
Okay.
Just to geek out and just have a good time because, hands down, best one you guys have ever done.
I think so. So let's just make this show our breakdown to SYFY Bartow 2020. You guys good with that?
It works for me.
So, biggest buzz at SYFY Bartow 2020, which just happened last weekend. This episode is going to be so big, you're going to be hearing about it for at least 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah.
So, the CarShow. I got a chance to go down there for the first time in probably 6 years to see what the CarShow was all about, and you had it jam-packed down there. What the hell? How did you park all those cars that close together? That's what I want to know.
Well, it took a lot of help. Normally, I park all the cars myself. I have it in my head. I just do it. I usually have enough time, but because of logistics, I had 2 volunteers show up to help me. They took one road, I took the main road, another one took the second road, and we were able to get everybody parked by 11.
There's 2 factions of SYFY Bartow, which are the same. They're married. They're together. You have the CarShow, which is just as big as the vendor part of SYFY Bartow and the rest of the show. Then you have the part that Lori runs. So Randy runs the CarShow part. That's his baby. Lori, my wife, you've met before on the show, she's the vendor coordinator. That's the other half of the show. So pretty much we have reached the point at SYFY Bartow where we're going to have to do a little bit more communicating from now on to get the logistics right. So that, honestly, I don't want to call a problem. I think it's a huge plus if we're having that trouble. We had almost 9 food trucks this year.
Wow.
And we've only had, this is the 3rd year we've had food trucks. We've never had experience with that before, but now we do. We have a complete, if you guys have went to SYFY Bartow, there's a food truck alley, and we had 9. And the really cool thing about that, even though it kind of bumped the CarShow a little bit, just a little bit, almost every one of the food vendors sold out of food at SYFY Bartow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which I think is incredible. We were kept our vehicles. My wife and I have themed tribute cars. I have a tribute to Captain Kirk, and she has a tribute vehicle to Jarvis from Iron Man, and our good friend Thomas Galvin from Chilton Signs. He has a Jurassic Park vehicle, and I talked to him. I said, "Did you put it in the CarShow?" Because it was so busy down there, he didn't want to get in, and they kind of were running a little bit late. And that's cool because you had 5 Jurassic Park vehicles in there already. You know. Anyway, tell us a little bit more about the CarShow. Some good things.
The good stuff. I had multiple people come to me or ask other people who's the CarShow coordinator. Multiple people come to me to talk to me about that.
Right.
I've never had that in the history of SYFY Bartow.
Right.
And people interview me because of the CarShows. You
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It was just talking.
You were all right with all that, right?
Yeah, I was. Actually, yes. You've kind of beat me out of that.
Yeah, I have beat you.
Yeah, I probably talked more today than you have.
Well, let's over to Duce real quick.
What's up?
Because tell us about your end, because you were in downtown Central SYFY Bartow, pretty much.
We were in Central SYFY Bartow, right across the street from the Cookie Jar. Man, we had a great time. We got there pretty early. We ran a little bit later than I wanted, but everything worked out good because we've got it down to a science now. Like, once we get there, we know like what we need to put up, what we need to do. I actually experimented with a couple new things this year. I brought this big piece of carpet because I always wear my flip-flops and I take them off, and then I'm walking around with Kmart foot down Main Street. So I got like a big piece of carpet that had gotten cut out, and I put it under the table, so I had like little carpet for my feet.
Nice.
And I could do the die hard squeeze my toes. You know, if anxiety set in, you could do the like toe curls. But No, we had fun. We set everything up, but it was perfect because we could see everybody and everybody could see us. And I had a lot of people, like work friends and fans and stuff, that wanted to see us. So our spot was perfect.
Yep.
The only thing that happened, which I thought was hilarious, was, and a big shout out to our good friends, the Kitchen Killers, they gave me this giant Bud Light stand-up bottle that's like life. It's almost as big as me. Right. So I was like, well, let's bring it and let's put a happy hour shirt in it. About halfway through the day, people start coming up and like, "Hey, you selling Bud Light? You got beer?" And I'm like, "No. We're the Happy Hour podcast. We're not selling any kind of alcoholic beverage." But like, yeah, people literally thought we were the beer tent for like half the show.
Yeah, we do have an awesome beer tent, which the Main Street office runs, and it ran out of beer 3 times. So
I bet.
To go get it.
I bet.
So you guys come, and you've been with us Sci-Fi Bartow for many years.
Yep.
And Johnny set up and do a live podcast.
Every year. We've done it. The only year we missed was the first one, so we've done 6 total.
Right.
And we're going to be back again next year with even bigger stuff, because I got some evil plans in the works for what I'm going to do. Because each year we do it, I like to try and make it bigger and better than the last year. And most of that is just for our fans. And like this year, we were very blessed. We had one of our sponsors, One Stop Guild Shop, and Ariel, who runs One Stop Guild Shop, came and like put up her banner and was with us all day.
Nice.
Because I'm trying to include sponsors with us now, because I'm like, we've got the room. You know, these are the people that kind of make us work. These are the people that are, paying the bills and making sure that we can make the show go. So I'm like, I want to bring them to the event. And it was, if I remember correctly, I think it was her first time coming, and her mind was blown.
Right.
Like, she was like, this is the coolest and craziest thing I've ever seen. Right. And every person I bring, like, I brought some friends of mine from work, and I told them, hey, bring your family, bring the kids. And they came with their kids, and their kids' mind was blown. They're like, this is awesome. This is so much fun. And plus, here's the great thing about Sci-Fi Bartow. It's free!
Yep.
Which everybody loved, because they're like, when I was telling them about it, they were like, at work, they're like, well, how much is it going to be? And I'm like, no, it's free. Well, how much is the park? No, it's free.
All free.
All free. Like I said, all you got to pay for is whatever you want to buy and the food. Besides that, you're good.
People can't get their minds wrapped around that.
No, because you're so used to going to these big cons where you're paying like $40 and $50 a day
just to get into the dealer's room.
Get in the dealer's room.
Yep,
and then once I'm in the dealer's room, I don't get anything else. I don't get to meet the celebrities, because that's another nickel and dime. And I don't get to go to panels. Well, sometimes you can go to panels, but even I went to a con a while back, and it was like, oh, you want to go to this panel? It's like $10-$20. I'm like, whoa. Wow. I paid to get in, and now I've got to pay again to go see the celebrity at a panel. I'm like, have you lost your cotton picking mind?
Listen to this. Listen to this shit. Okay, so I monitor the Sci-Fi Bartow Facebook page. That's me. It's all me. Randy helps. My wife helps, but it's the 3 of us. I had some chick get on there last week and say, I have tickets for sale for Sci-Fi Bartow, so if you need tickets, there's some left. I got them. She was trying to scam it. And I got on there and I said, bitch, this thing is free. She disappeared quick. So just remember, you guys that are watching, I know our crowd's growing. It's free. You don't have to buy tickets.
It's totally free.
Next time, send her my way. I love spoofing.
Yep, I know you do.
Oh, man.
All right, so Negative Nelly.
Negative Nelly.
Mr. CarShow. Bitching and griping.
No.
I want you to chill.
It was so busy that I couldn't get out and interview and talk to people.
No, I know. That's why you're making me work today.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I wasn't supposed to work today.
Yeah,
so that's the way I am.
What the hell is going on over
I don't know. Built Sci-Fi Bartow from a 1-block little event that used to be called Sci-Fi Saturday. It is now called Sci-Fi Bartow. And it went from 1 block to now we have over 8 blocks of entertainment and the side streets. We're going to be expanding it to another street next year. The Main Street Bartow, which is what we do this event for, has already come to me. Saturday night, I was still breaking down Sci-Fi Bartow. The Main Street director came to me and said, you want another street next year? I said, I'm going to have another street next year. So when we started doing sci-fi, and you got me focused on the car show because it is a vital part. We had the car show in the exact center of Sci-Fi Bartow down across Main Street. Not on Main Street, but on the side streets. Randy started busting at the balls with it because we had more and more cars, and it was really technically only big enough for maybe, 30, 40 cars.
Right. Yeah.
So I extended it to another part of Main Street on the main drag all the way to the end. Now we're busting at the seams there, and it has become, like I said earlier, a logistics problem because you have people walking. Even though we started at 11, people were there at 9 o'clock, and people aren't even set up yet, which is great because they're excited to be there.
Yeah.
So we're going to expand on that a little bit. But getting back on the car show, it was beautiful. I saw cars I've never seen down there before. Cool. There was everything from Transformers to Disney cars down there. So,
Yeah, Once Upon a Time car. I don't know if you got a chance to see it.
Yes.
Yeah, that one looked really good.
With what's her name with the apple on the hood or whatever. Yeah. And I loved it. The pictures you have been posting, if you get a chance, get on the Sci-Fi Bartow Facebook page. Randy's taking some awesome car show pictures. You even caught a picture of me and my brother, which has never been to Sci-Fi Bartow before.
That's why I did that. I was following you, and I said, let me stalk him a little bit and get this picture.
Yeah, and he showed up. It was amazing. We are estimating close to probably 35,000 people during the day showed up. Now, people say, well, how do you judge that? You do not have wristbands or people don't pay. I have a secret way that we count that I got rid of 2 years ago because people were not believing us. But now we have all types of drone technology and people that are counting people and coming to me and saying, we need this. We had this many people. It was bigger than last year. This year's show was way bigger than last year's show. Sci-Fi Bartow, I like to explain to people, is like a snake going through the grass. It does this, then it gets here and it turns around and it comes back, and it's a daily thing. You were saying there were some points where there was a crowd in the morning, a crowd in the afternoon.
I think it kind of goes in shifts. Like, you'll have like your beginning of the day kind of lunch crowd, and then they'll leave, and then you'll have the next shift, which is kind of your midday for like say 2 to 4 crowd, and then you'll have the night crowd that's coming to see the end of it and have dinner. So you get it in shifts. But the one thing I did want to add to what you were just saying about the wristbands, I'm calling him Sci-Fi Sean Jr., who was running the weapons check.
Yes.
The nicest guy.
Nate.
Yep. And did an amazing job because a good buddy of ours, Brian McCord, he came over and he was in his arrow costume and he had his bow and arrow and everything. And he's coming and he's over at the booth talking to us. Nate comes over, super polite, and was like, hey, man, whenever you get a minute when you're done, could you please come by the booth because I need to check your weapon. It wasn't a, hey, what are you doing there? Which I've seen at other cons where they're doing the shakedown. Like, hey, get over here. We got to, he's like, hey, when you get a minute, if you could please come over so we could check your weapon, I'd appreciate it. I was like, that was really cool. And that's just that customer service touch, that just handling it smoothly.
He's ex-military, and he handles it, and he's very
smooth, very nice,
guy.
Polite.
Nate, that's why I made him security chief of Sci-Fi Bartow. I went to one of those mega super cons that happened, and I was dressed as Guy Fieri, the cooking show guy, because I do his hair, and I had bought his hair. No, it's not. Shut up, Randy. I went there and I had a wooden spoon and a wooden fork. Those that you stir salads with. And I was carrying around. I went in there. Guy Fieri. People were taking my picture. Oh, look, it's Guy Fieri. Oh, no, you're cosplaying Guy Fieri. I'm like, okay. So I get up, and here comes this weapons guy dressed in all black. Looked like a Men in Black kind of a situation.
Like Atlas Security rolling up on you.
Sir.
Like all swole,
They did the whole sir. I said, yeah, what's up? He goes, we need to check your prop weapon. I'm like, I don't have a weapon. Well, what's that? I said, it's a wooden spoon and a wooden fork. They made me tie a freaking cable tie around my wood. And I'm like, I laughed, and people laughed. And they go, they made you check those? I'm like, yes. We understand at Sci-Fi Bartow the seriousness of very serious of prop weapons check. It has to happen. I saw a guy that come walking towards me that was dressed as, I think, the sheriff guy from what is that?
Walker, Texas Ranger.
No, Stranger Things.
Okay.
With a brown, and he had a gun. I thought his revolver was real, and I was walking right by, and I'm looking at him like he had a fluorescent green cable tie wrapped around him.
You're like, okay, we're good.
I'm like, thanks for doing that. He goes, oh yeah, I get it. So, and there are some people that get pissy about it.
There are, and you're good.
It's
you
plastic.
can't please everybody all the time, So there's people that are going to get upset, but in this day and age, safety is a huge thing, and especially when you've got all these prop weapons, and you guys, Sci-Fi Bartow from top to bottom is an A+ 5-star class event.
Thank you.
And seriously, it totally is. There's literally, we do a lot of conventions now. I do a lot of conventions. And it's one of the ones that I look forward to every year, and I know, this event's coming up. And it's one of the few conventions that I go to where I don't have to have the massive panic attack for the week ahead of time. Like, I know it, I've done it enough, I'm in a rhythm of it, and I know I can just go and have fun. Right. And, like, that's a whole nother story we'll save for another episode, but that was my big thing this year, is just having fun.
I did too.
Yeah.
Do you go around and find people to come sit with you on your podcast?
Here's what we normally do, and we'll get into. We'll go ahead and just unpack
go
a
ahead,
little bit now.
Let's do it.
So my big thing lately has been self-care and like taking care of myself and like not overworking myself and getting burnt out. So normally when we've done Sci-Fi Bartow, we will do 12 interviews in 8 hours, and we will literally go interview. I barely have time to go pee, much less, or use the bathroom, sorry, and much less.
It's the internet, we can say piss.
Much less even go get food. So literally, I keep 2 bags of beef jerky in the bag so I can eat that while we're doing it. Right. And we would go all day from like the minute we got there and unpacked, we'd have an interview before the thing even started. And then, like prime example, last year, after the show was over, we had the Kitchen Killers on and did an interview with them for like another hour.
That's great.
So it's all day long. But at the end of the day, I would be so burnt out. And on top of that, I didn't get to see my friends and have any fun.
Right.
Because literally every year when I put up the sign-up sheet of like, hey, we're going to do interviews, let me know and I'll get you on the sign-up sheet and get you a time. I think last year we filled it up in 2 hours. Yeah, wow. So yeah,
you had to squeeze me in last year.
Yeah, exactly.
In the last minute, because
I was like, let me see where I can push you in. I'll push this guy and put you because like in 2 hours flat, like it's full. And I said this year we're not doing that. I said we're gonna have my good buddy Josh Bauer, who's amazing, on. We're gonna have our buddy Dirk Scholar on, and we were gonna go do the Hang on Web show. And I said besides that, I'm not doing anything else. Right. Like I want to hang out with my friends. My sponsors were there hanging out. I had people from work came and hang out. This is the first year I got to walk around.
Yeah.
Normally, I never leave the booth.
Right.
The only thing I see at Sci-Fi Bartow besides my booth is a porta potty. Yeah. That is it all year.
And it's usually right behind you guys.
Yeah, so. Thank goodness. I've got some funny porta potty stories.
Oh, God.
But so normally like that's all I get to see. But this year I actually got to go and hang out with some of my friends, like some of the cosplayers and the Kitchen Killers, and actually look at booths and go, oh man, this stuff's really cool, and check out the food trucks, because normally I'm locked in, and this year I was like, I'm not doing that. So, and that was just a personal choice, because I was like, we'll get enough content for the day, and I would rather interact with the fans, because that was the other thing that was happening. Like, we have a lot of fans. We're the #1 podcast in Polk County, which to me is a badge of honor, and I wear it with pride.
Absolutely.
So my fans want to come out and see me, and the problem is we're doing all these interviews, and I'll get messages on Facebook and stuff like, hey, we came by the booth, but I didn't want to say hi because you were in the middle of an interview, and I didn't want to interrupt. And I'll tell them, I'll be like, I don't care what I'm doing. If you want to autograph, if you want to say hi, you want to get a picture, come see. I will stop what I am doing to take a picture with you or to sign something or whatever. So for me, I was like, this year is more, I want to give back to the fans. I want the fans to have a better experience, because a lot of years we've just been so busy. They might get a 2-second, hey, how's it going? It's really nice to meet you. Thank you for listening. But I don't like being that way, because to me, it feels cheesy. Right. It feels like, I don't know, like big time in celebrity, and I'm not about that.
Well, Randy and I being the second most famous podcast.
Right.
We haven't gotten to that point yet, but we are getting recognized in public.
We are.
When we got up on stage together, they were going crazy for us. We started doing our routine and all that. We get hugs. We don't sign autographs, but that's the way it rolls. But it's all about fun. Yeah. I've joked many times about I never wanted to do podcasts. I thought that was y'all's shtick and all that. And now I've gotten into it. It's it's pretty cool because we get to cross bridge. because we want to have Josh Bauer on our show, and I want to have Billy and the Commodore on the show one day. Sure. But see, it's just we film early on Sunday morning.
Well, that a lot of people it's just a scheduling thing, like getting things scheduled. Because I've been, knock on wood, I've been doing a lot of work with the Kitchen Killers lately, which has been nice because like they came to my house and stayed for Smoke on the Water, and I went and saw their show, helped them a little bit with that, and then they were here for Sci-Fi Bartow, and like we went and watched their show. Like I love those two guys to death. Those guys are my brothers, and I love to see the big things that they're doing, and because to me this was important because number one, Sean, you're my brother, and I love you, man.
Always have been,
and I'd do anything for Sean. He's just got to tell me when to show up.
Well, if you're going to say that, Kyle, let me look at my pants for a minute.
But
almost anything.
Yeah. But, I wanted to come do the show because I love what you guys are doing. And I've told you this for a while.
Kyle, would you kiss Mr. Spock Bear for me?
Sure.
Okay, there you go.
But I've been wanting to see him do a podcast or something like this because I love your point of view and I love your opinions on things because you are a little bit older than me and wiser, and you've been down the road more than I have. So when he says something, I take it with the as almost gospel truth. Like, okay, if Sean says this is probably what it is. So,
I'm going to give you best advice from an old guy to a younger guy.
What's that?
What I got, like 20 years on you? 10?
I don't know. Somewhere.
When you get to the point where you do a big outdoor science fiction convention, you have a car show, and you got a guy that runs the car show for you, don't listen to his bitching and his opinion so much because he doesn't get the big picture sometimes.
He may not, but I'll tell you what I figured out over this whole Sci-Fi Bartow, and that is Randy is your Johnny. I'll tell you why. Friday night, because you're doing all this stuff and you've got all the moving parts and you're getting everything going, Randy's going up and talking to people and being like, hey, what's going on? So he does a lot of what Johnny has to do for me because I'll be talking to sponsors and I'll be talking to event promoters and then talking to the fans, and then sometimes I don't get to talk to everybody, so Johnny's the guy that's got to kind of schmooze and smooth everything out, all the things that I can't take care of. And I see you filling that role and you kill it.
He
brother.
does kill it.
I
couldn't do anything without Randy.
No.
We're gonna take a break and we're gonna end this podcast. We're gonna do part 2, and because I want Randy to get all his, because he's giving me the signs from the umpire that I don't know what the hell it is. Look at your hands.
This is the way.
So this is going to be part 1, end of part 1.
Mind if I get my plugs in real quick?
Yeah, just do it. Thanks. Yeah.
I just want to throw this in real quick, guys. You can find us at Happy Hour with Johnny and Duce on Twitter at HH Podcast Show. HHPodcastShow@gmail.com. You guys are going to love this. We're taking emails right now. We're doing our own version of Hot Ones, which I don't know if you've seen. We're named it Spicy Deuces.
Spicy Deuces.
Yeah. like fiery turds. So
that sounds great.
So send us your questions, but make sure you put Spicy Deuces in the subject line because we're sending a Brandy, so we can't read the questions.
Oh, that's great.
So we're not going to know until we're like eating the hot wings and like sweating our tails off.
Awesome.
Also, you can find us at Facebook.com/Happy Hour Podcast Show and SoundCloud.com/Happy Hour Podcast. So go check us out and make sure you keep checking these guys out and hit the subscribe button down at the bottom.
That's important.
Yeah.
The subscribe button. And if you want to reach us, just get us on our Facebook page, which is Talking
Sci-Fi.
Yep, there it is. And send us questions because we want to, answer your questions as well too. But we're going to take a break. We're going to start doing part 2 now. So thank you and stay tuned. There's more to come. This is Talking Sci-Fi with Sci-Fi Sean.
Just Randy.
And
Deuces on the loose.
Later.